Hey everyone, welcome to this explainer. I am absolutely thrilled you're tuning in today because we're tackling a massive, fundamental shift happening right beneath our feet in the tech industry. For years, we've understood the product manager role in a very specific, neat little box. Well, that traditional understanding is rapidly fracturing. The ground rules are completely changing. So grab a coffee, get focused, and we're going to explore exactly how the PM role is splitting, and honestly, more importantly, figure out which product manager you are actually becoming. Okay, let's dive into this. Is the do everything PM dead? It's a question keeping a lot of product folks up at night right now. You know the exact type, the classic generalist, the person who does a little bit of user discovery, writes some specs, and then spends a good chunk of the week wrangling stakeholders. Well, according to the latest industry insights, this generalist PM is quietly becoming one of the absolute hardest roles to hire for. And it's not because product managers are vanishing, no way. It's because the job itself is fundamentally splitting into distinct pieces. So let's look at how the generalist gets squeezed, going from a perfectly safe bet to a position that's getting really hard to defend. For an entire decade, calling yourself a generalist was the safe, smart career answer. It showed you were adaptable, a real team player. But here we are in 2026, and that stance, it's getting incredibly hard to defend. Companies are just no longer looking for a jack of all trades. They are actively demanding clearer lanes. They want AI native PMs, growth PMs, monetization PMs, platform PMs, or go-to-market PMs. The market is quietly but very clearly pricing specialization. And this isn't just about fancy job titles. It is about compensation. Right now, specialists are commanding a massive premium over their generalist equivalents. The market is literally putting a higher price tag on having a clearly defined area of expertise. This brings us to the great PM fork, where we have two massive forces pulling in completely opposite directions. The actual catalyst driving this huge change is artificial intelligence. And here is the fascinating twist. The exact same technology that is forcing people to specialize is simultaneously giving generalists unprecedented power. AI is pulling the profession in two completely opposite directions at the exact same time. Because AI can now flawlessly handle heavy documentation, automate complex synthesis, and instantly generate a first draft analysis, the day-to-day burden has totally shifted. A product manager with reasonable technical context can now cover a vastly larger surface area than they ever could before. You don't necessarily need deep, granular expertise in every single area anymore, because your AI tools are doing the heavy lifting on all that foundational work. And this brilliantly illustrates the definitive career fork staring every PM in the face right now. You basically have two choices. Choice one, you can go deep. This means you pick a lane, build genuine, undeniable specialization, move from just operating to actually governing, and take total ownership of the complex go-to-market work that AI simply can't touch. Or choice two, you can go wide. This means using AI as your ultimate leverage to own a much larger piece of the product surface as a high-context generalist. Now, I want to be really clear here. Both of these paths, going deep or going wide, are completely viable, highly successful career trajectories. But drifting aimlessly between them? Yep, that is not an option anymore. You literally cannot just float in the middle, hoping your vague skill set covers all the bases. You have to actively choose your posture and lean all the way into it.
Let's unpack the AI PM, easily the hottest yet most ambiguous title in tech right now.
Job postings for AI PMs have nearly tripled in just 2 years. It's an explosive trend, but it's a complete illusion to think of it as just one single job. In reality, AI PM is at least 4 completely different jobs masquerading under one trendy title. First, you have the copilot PM, who owns the customer-facing LLM surface. Think chatbots and AI assistants. Then there's the AI platform PM, who builds the internal models and the tooling layer that other engineering teams actually build on top of. Next up is the ML feature PM. They ship very specific model-powered features inside products that otherwise have absolutely nothing to do with AI. And finally, the AI ops PM, who deploys AI to non-engineering teams, like your support, operations, or sales folks. It's the same umbrella title, but completely different daily tasks, entirely different metrics for success, and totally distinct skill sets.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is the staggering compensation data, $194,000. That is the average U.S. compensation for these AI PM roles, which is climbing way, way past traditional salary bands. The financial premium for being an AI PM is incredibly real. But And this is a massive but. You only get to command that premium if you know exactly which of those 4 AI PM roles you actually are and can undeniably prove you have the specific skills for that lane. Which product manager am I becoming? In 2026, this is no longer just a philosophical exercise. It is the single most important career question you can possibly ask yourself. It's not just about asking, am I a good PM anymore? This specific distinction of which kind now dictates your hiring leverage, your compensation, and your influence far more than simply having years of generic experience on a resume.
If you're sitting in an interview or a performance review and your main value proposition is, well, I do a bit of everything, you really need to understand the risk you're taking. Relying on that old, vague, generalist answer is a massive risk to your career trajectory today. It's getting more expensive to be a drifter, and it is absolutely no longer the safe haven it once was.
So let's talk about evidence over vibes and how to actually pick your lane. Choosing your specialization shouldn't just be a random guess based on a gut feel or blindly following the latest trends. The product managers who are going to win the next decade rely entirely on hard evidence to make this call. They treat their careers exactly like a critical product decision. You have to look at market demand, analyze where your personal edge really lies, and figure out what the market is actually rewarding. It's about applying the exact same rigorous discovery and validation to your own career as you do to your product roadmaps. So, how do you actually build this evidence? Well, tools like Specky are built specifically to strengthen this exact muscle. Step 1, you run your research and make your daily decisions. Step 2, you use Specky to turn those scattered signals, user feedback, and shipped features into a connected product graph. Step 3, this transforms your work so that your judgment becomes visible, compounding, and highly defensible. It's really about having an autonomous record that literally proves how you think and execute. So, the crucial point is this: the generalist isn't dead, but a bit of everything is no longer a strategy. You can still be a generalist, for sure, but it has to be an intentional, AI-leveraged choice to go wide, not just some default setting because you couldn't decide what to specialize in.
The era of just asserting your value is officially over. You have to prove it. So I want to leave you with this final thought. Which lean will you pick on purpose, and exactly how will you show your evidence? Take some time, think about your connected product graph, pick your path, and start building the proof that makes your value completely obvious. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer.